Hadin ka jing sakhi ka jing wan yat ba ka jing Khih ka ba Khah jong Jumai hapo ka jala Meghalaya badru ya ka jing yo ka jing kala ka mai Mariang ka Sorkar India lambat ka Sorkar jala kala Sdang ban Pynkhreh ya ki lat ai jing Ïada na ka jing wan lenchap ki bor Mariang ya ki nong snong ka rilum khasi jantia. Hakakat pratari ulaber arja arpusan ka Meghalaya State Disaster Management Authority MSDMA ringkat ka District Disaster Management Authority DDMAS Katanat revenue buat ke disaster management ke Sorkar Jala buat ke National Disaster Management Authority NDMA Ministry of Home Affairs ke Sorkar India kalau penlong ya ke tabletop exercise halor ke jingkenyo Jumai. Hakani ke sengi laya don lang daw Lieutenant General Syed Ata Hasnin ubala syong taj ubadai ru dukot ke NDMA ke New Delhi Sanjay Goyal IAS Commissioner buat Secretary Katanat revenue buat disaster management ke kong M War Nongbri IAS Commissioner buat Secretary Katanat revenue and disaster management buat Executive Director ke MSDMA Kakong Rosetta Mary Kurba, Deputy Commissioner ka East Khas Hills District, ki Magistrate, ki Head Officer ka National Disaster Response Force NDRF, na lor kiway de. Habajing kran Lieutenant General Syed Ata Hasnin, ulaang bagajing temu kani kajing yalang kadai ban Pynkhreh ikilat ajing yarap, lada wanlan shop ki board jong ka Mariang, baut ulaang ru, bau menteri rang bakdo kari India u Narendra Modi, House Nam Arjar Khatanriu ula Pynkhreh shipotali ki agenda, ki bakentop ya kajing pentip babiang port, ka apps, kajing hikai ya hakislam jing pulia nalor kiway de.
You can see that in India, we suffered from the ravages of disasters in 1999, 2001, 2004, the tsunami, the famous super cyclone, the earthquake in Bhuj came out with 40,000 people dead. But because we have developed things scientifically, over a period of time with good leadership, a situation has come today where you can sit back and hope that when you are hit by disasters, there will be a minimum effect of that disaster on you. Let me give you an example. We had a major cyclone which hit Gujarat 2 years ago, 2023 June. So much unlike what happened in Odisha where we lost over 10,000 dead. This super cyclone called Biparjoy in the year 2023 resulted in not even one fatality. Why did it happen? Because various departments of the government came together. The Indian Meteorological Department, of which I'm sure there are people sitting here, the IMD started tracing out the cyclone. We had developed a technology for early warning, so we started giving out the early warning from NDMA, the SDMA, down to the DDMAs. We moved the NDRF in time. We warned the army. We got the Air Force in place. We had already developed a number of shelters along the coastline. So all those people who did not have proper pakka houses, we could move a couple of 100,000 people into those houses. We had good roads all along the coastline, so movement of people was not difficult. All the electricity lines and telephone lines were all buried under the ground, so there was no effect of the cyclone on the poles which got uprooted, did not have effect on the communications. All this happened because the state of Gujarat was prepared for that disaster. And that is the purpose of what we are doing here. Preparing ourselves for that eventuality once in 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, maybe 100 years. An earthquake could hit Meghalaya once in 100 years. We want to make sure that once when it hits the state, we don't lose a single life. And very important, now besides not losing a single life, no one must go out of job. So the livelihood of a person must not be taken away from him. That is the honorable mission of all of us who are involved in the domain of disaster management today. So we are not here for testing anyone. We are here to instigate your minds, trigger thoughts in your minds. If you are not aware of some of these things, make you aware of them, so that you bring it to the notice of the community at large. And as everyone in society moves along, we'll be in a far better position to be able to fight these disasters. One of the very important things in this agenda is community response, preparedness of the communities, which is all of us. All of us are members of the community. If something happens in the Garo Hills, it should not be incumbent on us to respond from Shillong or Guwahati. We should have the local capability to respond until the next responders can fetch in. A stage will come in India in the future when we even have our own aviation resources in every state, so that we don't have to look upon the Air Force. Each time you have a disaster, the first thing we do is to look at the Air Force. You are fortunate you have a whole command here, Eastern Air Command here.
Hadian kene kaladan ru ka jingpen I madan yaki tiar ki ban pendon kam hakapor pala im yaki brio na ka jing sha pen julor hau Jumai ka Yong lang thari ka jing slei ka jing tua khndo ka jing plu ding ka kali badan antena signal bat kiwei de
habatin pej bahaki ki sharp plus F
ka plus F
hakabam bangi bam dunaki eki batte kamet namar kata habathiru atau khau kam lu ka umpnyang ka dot pej ya ka sharp plus F haka jing som Yaki nutrient kumki vitamin bat ka iron la icon diat bat ka bathau bha kam khta I ka dur jing ki mar bam ka jing mat lani ka rukom shed yaki balehi banai kita ka don ka we ka jing mentoy ba kongsan ka kot ka khia ka nutrition ba kham bha ka jing im ba kham bha pendon kam daki mar bam madon ka sharp plus F menta ka sngi
lawan ra shapi lingba ko office jong commissionerate of food safety Meghalaya